Everybody knows that you should have a really strong network and that your network is your net worth, et cetera, all those things. But one of the biggest challenges as a young person is building that out because you don't always have a great starting point. Now I have a circle of friends that's honestly incredibly diverse in terms of like life stories and age groups and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things as well as professionally useful. And I just wanted to share some of the things that over time I've learned to do. First and foremost, just be authentic. Like this is, I would say, pretty commonplace advice, but it's cliche for good reason. Everybody can tell if you're fake and nobody likes fake people. So be yourself and don't try and stress it too much. That will take you much further than you think if you just take it seriously. The second thing would be try and be useful to people. I think this principle might have been in Dale Carnegie's How to Influence People and Make Friends or Win Friends, How to Win Friends and Influence People, something like that. It's the best book on people skills, like full stop. And it tells you, take an interest in people, be happy to see them, call them by their name, things like this, all incredibly important principles and stuff that it's all absolutely timeless. Beyond that, try and be useful to people, add value to their lives. But I want to caveat that by saying, don't just try and make them more money, for example. If you tell people you can make them more money, they might take a business interest in you. But if you want to network, networking is not business contacts. Networking is making friends. Your network is the people who you can call at any point, at any day, and just be like, hey, I need a favor. Can you help me out? Try and make yourself useful. If you know that they're hiring for a specific type of role, just be like, yeah, hey, let me connect you to this guy. He knows a bunch of developers. Maybe you can chat with him and something works out. And don't take an interest. Don't ask for a cut. Don't ask for a commission. And then that goodwill is worth way more. And it compounds over time as well. Another principle that I've implemented really recently, but I think has yielded really nice results, is try and appreciate people more and express that appreciation for people. And this applies specifically in the context of the relationships that you already have. It's not really how to make new ones, but how to deepen existing ones. But write cards, give little gifts. That makes people feel so valued. You will stand out in their network. There was a time when I left my high school, people didn't really notice for the most part because there was so much other stuff going on. And then I sent out a couple emails to some of the teachers who I was closer with. So the teachers who had helped me more and things like that. And I basically said, I'm leaving this school because I'm changing school because of a long story. And thank you and just goodbye, basically. And most of them didn't reply. They were probably too busy. But there was this one teacher, this physics teacher of mine, who replied. He was, and I remember this email so distinctly. He emailed me something along the lines of, hey Joel, thank you for your email. You have been such a pleasure to teach. You have been one of the best physics students I've had in a long time. Thank you for all the good times. That email to this day stays in my memory because I was in a really kind of rough period with COVID and I had to move around country and it was not super fun. And that email was really nice because I felt seen and appreciated above all. If there's even the slightest chance that I can do that for somebody else, I would love to. One little hack that you can also implement that I think boosts the relationships that you create with people when you first meet them is take a picture with them. So you meet someone new and you shake their hand, you talk to them, you get to know them a little bit. If they're cool and you grab their contact, take a picture with them and send it to them however you got their contact information. That does two things. Firstly, it lets you know who they are. If you ever look back at the chat, you remember that photo, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this person, I remember that situation, I remember that event, whatever it is. And then secondly, it's just a really nice thing that makes you memorable to them as well because they don't necessarily take pictures with everybody. One of the biggest things that I started doing when I kind of left school was I started investing a little bit in hobbies. And that included just going for more, trying tastings, trying different kinds of spirits. For example, one of my big things is cocktail bars. I really enjoy cocktail bars. I'm a big foodie guy, different restaurants, things like that. I save them, I have little lists. If you connect with people in a non-professional way and you build trust there where you don't have, neither of you should have kind of second agendas usually, that trust is way stronger than something built on kind of like mutual professional interests. Just go live a little. And you will see that people enjoy connecting with you more when you start doing that. And I think that's one of the best ways to develop deeper, more meaningful relationships with people. And over time, that pays a lot of dividends. The last kind of piece of advice to network, if you will, is just ask a lot of questions, especially if there's somebody older, more senior than you, who has been in the business game longer. Just ask questions, show that curiosity, and I think they'll take a liking to you because what kind of the people who've been in the game for really long, what they like to see are sponges, people who learn fast, who you tell them about something and a week later they message you and they're like, oh, I did the thing that you told me to. That, for somebody who is in a position to be more of a mentor, is extremely rewarding to see somebody who really wants their advice and see them implement it. So play that role, like just asking more questions and showing people that you're interested and genuinely curious. They will go out of their way to help you. That's, at the end of the day, that's really what you're after. What you're after is a network of deep connections that you can rely on and go to for questions, for advice, not a really shallow and broad network of 1,000 people who you've shaken their hands. Anyway, that's pretty much it as far as the lessons that I've learned over the past, give or take, 4 years, kind of networking and things like that. And I'm not somebody with naturally a lot of social skills. Those kind of skills only came when I started to go out and find more friends, and it was not something that I had with me kind of by default. But those skills have brought me a long way, and those are little points that I would absolutely tell my younger self if I could. So maybe they'll help you. If you've got any other like weird or unconventional networking things that you do to make cool friends, do let me know. I'd be really curious to hear about them.